Today our guest is Levi Crawford, and Levi is a veteran of the
Iraq and Afghanistan War.
Iraq and Afghanistan War with the 875th.
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Here out of Jonesboro.
Welcome to Let's Talk Jonesboro, Levi.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Levi, you are a wounded veteran.
Yes, sir.
And you tell us a little bit about your story in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Well, Iraq was my first deployment. I deployed with 875th out of Jonesboro, and then later deployed to Afghanistan. About halfway through the deployment there, I was hit with a rocket-propelled grenade. Sent me to Walter Reed. I had shrapnel from pretty well knees up. Temporarily blinded both eyes. I regained vision in one of them. Spent about a year recovering in Walter Reed. After that, came back to Jonesboro. I was real eager. Had to convince the doctors to come back when I did. I was ready to get back home. And that's when I met Rivers of Recovery and went on a trip with them, and kind of led me to where I'm at now and put me here.
And Rivers of Recovery is for veterans.
Yes, sir.
Wounded, but also PTSD, which is as real an injury as a physical injury, is it not?
Very real and goes unnoticed a lot of times.
Yeah.
And one of those everybody puts a tough face on. So
right.
Sometimes it's one of those that even close friends may not see. So
I can imagine, and it's become a joke to say I'm having PTSD from this, that, and the other thing. But if you suffered it legitimately, seriously in war, it's a whole new ball game. And
sure,
Levi, I'm not a veteran of anything worth mentioning, but I have sat with veterans groups, PTSD groups, and even if you're a Vietnam veteran, these people who can, in their comfort zones with their peers, can cry at the drop of a hat at the turn of a thought, and then go to affable and angry or whatever. It's just dealing with. I've seen kind of what they're dealing with, and so you have gotten with this group, Rivers of Recovery. Can you tell me how it approaches these issues?
On the participant side, I'll start with what I've seen on the participant side, because a lot of times, say you're a veteran that's suffering with PTSD, that's something that you kind of keep under your jacket. You don't really share because there's such a stigma about it, or even TBI, traumatic brain injury, is kind of the same way, or you don't even realize that what's going on as a result of the traumatic brain injury.
Right.
But since you kind of keep it in your pocket under your jacket, you don't want it to go on a program trip where you think you're going to be sitting on a couch and saying what's wrong with you or anything.
Right.
But as a participant with Rivers of Recovery, I was going fishing. I've always liked to fish, grew up in Jonesboro bass fishing, and I seen it as an opportunity to go fly fishing, professional guides and everything, so I jumped on it. And throughout the trip, I started noticing, we're in a small group of veterans, everybody's getting along, you got different branches, so you can make fun of another branch and do the typical
get the guy stuff.
Yep, and just the camaraderie, and that's really nice to have back after getting out or retiring. And then fishing, just even if you're not catching a fish right then, just the sound of the river and just being able to let your mind go. And for me, I have a lot of anxiety, and you just, after a day or two of the fishing, you realize, I didn't have anxiety yesterday. I'm fine today.
Is that right?
So that, as a participant, that's what you see. It's just a fun trip. But now that I work with them, I know that, we go out in a certain number, 6 to 8, because with 6 to 8 veterans, we know that there won't be a clique here or a clique here. It's all one cohesive group, and you're more apt to share stories. And there's a lot that goes behind the trip, but it's not like sitting on a couch and talking to a doctor and saying something's wrong with me. It's set up to where the veterans go out and have a good time, but we've put in the work to make sure that when they're doing what is our program. For them, they're just having a good time fishing, hanging out with friends, and in the background of all that, they're learning that they can do things like that to help treat PTSD, TBI, and continue to do it. So,
well, you know, the first thing I noticed about Levi is first of all, I know he's been injured in war, and the second thing is he'll tell you he has no problems, at least none to worry about. And as an average guy, I can't tell you how much strength and admiration I have for that attitude. Is that the warrior mentality, or is that something that you had to learn in your recovery process?
I've learned it, and that's probably, I'm not too big of a person to say that I'm not always like that. It's always, a daily battle, I guess. But, I can't see over here. I can't see anything that's going on the left side, and you'll hear me, make blind jokes and stuff like that. And, I guess it is a bad situation, but you got to make the best of it. And if you can't laugh at it, then, it's getting the better of you. So
Yeah.
I just try to keep that mentality. And I noticed in Walter Reed, I did a lot when I was learning to walk again. I was with a lot of amputees.
How long were you in Walter Reed?
10 months, or just over 10 months.
Okay.
But I noticed that there'd be certain people that you would remember, whether it be doctors or other veterans, and it would be those people that didn't matter what was going on, they were always happy and laughing and joking and even jokes about themselves, whatever it was. And that was infectious, and the people that you seen that maybe weren't always that way,
Right.
when they got with the other people, it put a smile on their face, and it just had an impact to me to where I need to be one of those people, regardless of what I do. Just being one of those people that I'll make a Ray Charles joke or something, on myself, and just you laughed at that when I said it, so that
Right.
it's doing good.
Right. Well, it's admirable, and it's us regular guys. And when I say regular, I mean non-heroes. We owe you an incredible debt of gratitude. I want to know how people, first of all, how veterans who may not know about Rivers of Recovery can become a part of it.
Well, for Rivers of Recovery, the kind of one stipulation we have, you don't have to be a Purple Heart veteran. You don't have to be Iraq or Afghanistan. It could be Vietnam, any wars. It's just combat veteran. And that kind of gets back to, the program that we have set up and some of the research and how it works as well as it does. But outside of that, we've got a website. It's www.riversofrecovery.org. You can get on there and send an email to us. We also have a Facebook page at Rivers of Recovery. You can send us a message on there, and I'm always on there talking and leave contact information directly to me. And then I reach out as well to VFW and the Beck Pride Center here for Jonesboro, and through word of mouth a lot for this area because I know so many of the veterans. And then email through our social media as well.
Well, and if you want to contribute or make a donation, how do you do that? Same as the same website?
You can, same website. We've got it set up now where you can do one-time donations or monthly donations. Monthly donations is kind of new for us. And a lot of people think, well, I can only do $5 or something like that. And what I always try to tell people is if we have a bunch of people sign up for $5 or $20 monthly donations, that really adds up. At the end of the year, a group of people doing that will pay for a whole trip to where I can take 6 to 8 more veterans out every year. So that's something big we're trying to really get started and let people know that you don't have to donate $1,000 or $100 or anything like that. It can be, smaller increments, especially on the monthly donation part. And then we've got the banquet coming up April 7th as well.
Where is it going to be?
I'm going to call it the Old Armory because that's where I deployed out of. But technically now it's the Military Science Building on on ASU campus.
At Arkansas State
Yes, sir.
University. Okay. And
Ninth-
what's the date of it?
April 7th. It's the first Saturday in April. We're going to open doors at 5:30. Dinner will start 6:30, 6:45. Very casual. You don't have, you don't have to wear a suit and tie unless you want to. Jeans and a t-shirt's fine with us. We just want you to come out and meet some veterans that'll be there and enjoy some really good food. We'll have a guy coming out and starting his professional smoker that morning, smoking a bunch of meat all day. Sides provided by a local restaurant here. A lot of sponsors coming in making it happen. So it looks like it's going to be a good event. We'll have live and silent auction as well. So
That's great. And so and tell us the date again on that.
It'll be April 7th. It's the first Saturday in April, the Military Science Building at 1921 Aggie Road. And
the time is?
5:30 the doors open, and it's a come and go as you please. If
drop in.
Yeah, if you want to wait till dinner's starting to serve, show up at 6:45, or if you got something, just come when you want. And we're going to do childcare this year as well. That's something new.
Oh, really?
So if you got a kid and you're needing a date night out, then you can take your kids to Cheers Unlimited. We'll have bounce houses, trampolines, pizza from U.S. Pizza for them, and they'll be able to have a good time. And we'll have cheerleading coaches, tumbling coaches if they're into that.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm hoping it'll be a really good time for the kids and let the parents come and have fun with us too and learn about what we're doing and take part in Rivers of Recovery.
I think I need to work on my tumbling myself. So,
so you're going to, yeah.
There's no question.
Well, we'll bring the cameras there for that, and then I think.
Yeah. Yeah, you could get some good shots of that. Well, tell us, is there anything else we need to discuss, Levi?
Well, for the banquet, we're still looking for items donated for live and silent auction.
Okay.
And also table sales. We've got a table is 8 people. We've got 3 tiers, 600, 1,500, and 2,500. And the 2,500, the reason we did that is our big table is we are a national organization, so on a national average, it cost us $2,500 to provide a trip for one veteran. So if you buy that table, you're guaranteeing one veteran a trip.
You've given a veteran a trip on Rivers of Recovery.
Right, with that table sponsor.
That's nice.
And we've got just some thank you items if you purchase the table. The $2,500 table, we're offering 2 guns, just as a thank you for supporting us, and 1 for the 1,500, 1 gun. So
Very
just
nice.
kind of a way to encourage people to come out and say thank you for supporting us. We're pretty new. We just expanded into Arkansas last year, so.
Is that right?
And this is our biggest fundraiser. So we've got a trip starting April 23rd. We'll have 6 veterans out for that, and I'm really hoping this banquet does good, because if it does, I'll call our guides in Cotter and say, hey, when's the fish biting really good again, because we're going to do another trip. So this directly affects how many veterans we'll be able to reach here in the next month afterwards. So.
This is wonderful, and Jonesboro has proven time again that we are a volunteer community and love to do charitable things, and we're red-blooded Americans who believe in our soldiers. So I think you'll find a lot of people want to contribute and be a part of this. And I thank you for taking the time to come visit with us on Let's Talk Jonesboro.
It's been a pleasure. I appreciate it. Appreciate it
very much. Thank you, Levi.
Thank you.